It is mailbag time here on Chicago Bears Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Harrison Graham. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to today's episode. Let's go ahead and get to your questions. Alani with a $30, or is that $20? $20 super chat. I misread it. Still awesome. Appreciate it. Can't fix this overnight. All these big names are not what's needed. Poles' approach is going to pay off. This time next year, we'll be the draft of all drafts. He will accumulate 10 picks. I think it's a good point. Listen, anything positive coming out of 2022, I'll say this. If Justin Fields makes a big jump and this team wins 6 games, who cares? Like, I want to make the playoffs, but, like, if you don't, okay, you're shaping up for a good 2023. Now, if Fields is terrible this year or has a bunch of injuries and you still suck, then it's like, okay, do you need to get a quarterback? I don't think that's going to happen, but this year is mostly about Fields, which is what last year should have been about. Remember, as we spend more time, because Alani gave us $20, we appreciate it. Pace and Nagy screwed this up. They should have made last year what Poles was doing this year. Last year should have been, let's trade guys that can get us draft picks, and let's let Justin Fields let it rip as a rookie. They didn't do it. They wanted to start Andy Dalton, who, by the way, signed with the Saints. Bad guy's eyes. Prove-it deals involving young ascending players is fine, but Fields is a priority. Evaluating, protecting, and developing him is the 2022 goal. Absolutely. This year is about Justin Fields, like I just said. Finding out what he is. Is he the guy for this team? Now, I think you need to get him a few more pieces to help him show that he can be that guy, especially on the offensive line, but probably another receiver as well. But I think that'll happen. I do think that'll happen. Hey, guys, follow me on Instagram, at HGramNFL. Here's the deal. We're closing in on 3,000 followers, and once we do that, we'll cook up another Instagram Live. Every 500, every 1,000 followers, we've been doing a brand new IG Live for you guys, so that is awesome. Let's get to 3,000. Also, you can slide in the DMs, ask me your questions. I got to catch up on a bunch still, but I will do that. Follow me at HGramNFL, and once we cross 3K, we will cook up another IG Live. Emiliano Brito, 6 wins, but hoping for a top 3 pick next year. This team is not built to win. It's mediocre at best, which is bad. Just tank, trade everyone for picks. I don't think this team will tank, but they may not win a lot of games either. So, Emiliano, you might get your wish in all reality. Justin Rother, what if we trade into the first to get Linderbaum? I'm intrigued. He/Olave are like the 2 guys I would consider trading up for if I was the Bears. But yeah, I mean, if you draft him, ideally you've got a center for the next 10 years. Lucas Prang, any chance the Bears start 3 to 5 UDFAs next year? Maybe. How about one of your guys from last year? How about Charles Snowden? I don't think he'll start, but I think he'll be on this football team and contribute. Like, he's a guy, I think it's possible you find a couple after this year's draft that can contribute. So I don't know about starting, and I don't know about 3 to 5 starting, but could 1, 2, 3 make your roster? I think it's possible. Ben Bobby, are the Bears tanking in 2022? A lot of tank questions today. Kind of what I was saying a second ago, Ben and the other guy who was asking about tanking as well. I don't think this team's intentionally tanking, but they're also not signing like big name win now A-level talent because those guys are a little bit older and they don't fit this year's timeline. They're getting good value deals in free agency. They want to get some guys in the draft. You're not intentionally tanking, but you may not go out and win 12 games either. Like, this team could go 5-12, 6-11, 7-10. I still think 8-9 wins is possible with the schedule and if Justin Fields takes a big jump, but not an intentional tank. At the same time, I think a lot of what this regime is doing is fixing the mistakes of Pace with how he handled the cap and trying to build for the future as well. Are the Bears tanking? Shout out producer Jack for cooking up this question real quick. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Are the Bears tanking in 2022? Jaden Rowley, Harrison, are you a Bears fan or KC? I gotta know. Appreciate the super chat. Cover both for Chat Sports. Bears is a bigger channel, a bigger priority, and I have a blast doing it. Bear down, baby. Matthew Prowl, are Bears, appreciate the super chat, by the way, are the Bears going to sign an offensive lineman before the draft? Devastated to see Bates fall. Devastated is strong. I understand the being upset. I was a little upset yesterday. I thought you could have offered a little more money, but 4-year deal for an RFA. The Bills matched it. Give them credit. They decided to keep the guy. But yeah, I would expect at least one lineman being being signed before the draft. I think Eric Fisher makes a lot of sense. We'll see who they end up targeting. Sky 142. Do the Bears take David Ojabo if he falls to them? So Dane Brugler of The Athletic, who does a great job with their draft coverage, he said based on what he's hearing, anywhere from 40 to 75 could make sense for Ojabo. Bears pick at 39, they pick at 48, they pick at 71. 71's a home run. If he's there at 71, even if you have other needs, you might just take him. But just know you may not have him this year at all. You probably won't have him in his rookie year for much. So that factors in with the torn Achilles. I probably would not take him at 39, probably not at 48, but at 71, if he's hanging out, I might take a gamble there. Joe Cuttigan, any news on Foles or Quinn possible trades? So Ryan Poles said a Quinn trade has not been discussed. That was as of Monday. He also on Monday said that Nick Foles trade, look, it's on the table. Trevor Siemian will be the backup. But as of now, there's no traction for Foles. But I do think the Bears would trade him if they found a trade partner. Appreciate the $10 from Tanner. You guys are bringing the heat with these super chats. Let's get to $100. We're at 68 right now. Just wanted to say I appreciate the content. Keep up the good work. Been here since 7,000 subs. That's awesome. We're at 45 plus now. By the way, you have any suggestions on sites to buy autographed Bears gear? Keep up the great work. Well, I will say this, Tanner. Appreciate the love, the support. Bears draft hats are out, number one. Go check them out, chatsports.com/Bears draft. We have partnered with Fanatics as well, and they have these Bears draft hats, chatsports.com/Bears draft. Check out the different hats. I like the ones with the orange Bears text and the white cursive text overlaying, but if you like the black and navy there, go check that one out. Chatsports.com/Bears draft, link in the comments into the description. Also, after you go to that link, Tanner, as we go back to your question, Fanatics has some signed memorabilia, some signed jerseys, some signed footballs, helmets, and stuff like that. So go to that link, and then on the left side of your page, after you take a look at the hats, there's different categories, and you should be able to find some memorabilia there. So that is a source where you can find some stuff. Jonathan Upshaw, I feel there is a big signing on the way this week. Maybe. Define big. I think we should know by now that the Bears aren't going to throw a ton of money at somebody. Larry Ogunjobi, 3 years, $40.5 million before that deal fell through. I can't imagine they would top that contract at this point. But there are some guys that they could throw some money at. And I do think they'll bring in some guys still. They have to. They still have 30-plus open roster spots for a 90-man roster. The draft and UDFAs is not going to fill that out with this team only having 6 draft picks right now. Chris Johnson, do you view Thomas Graham as a potential starter, or will CB still be a high need in the draft? So we have the cornerback depth chart. We'll go ahead and show that real quick, and don't freak out at this depth chart. This is kind of based on who got a lot of the snaps last year, yada, yada, yada. So take that with a grain of salt. Jalen Johnson, he'll obviously start. I don't really anticipate Kendall Vilder starting. I think this team will sign a veteran CB2. Be on the lookout for that. Duke Shelley could start at nickel. I'd prefer to upgrade. Thomas Graham, I have him listed as a backup just because he didn't play much last year, but it's possible he starts. I think it's very possible he starts as your nickel or CB2, depending on what the Bears do at the position. Matthew Prow, where should I buy a quality Fields jersey? Chatsports.com/Fields jersey. Don't have the link on screen, but you see the one below, chatsports.com/Bears draft. Just go /Fields jersey. And there you go. You'll be good to go. Dustin Yoder, the way Bears take 2 wide receivers in the first 3 rounds, Watson and Alec Pierce. Anyway, yeah, absolutely. I think taking 2 wide receivers on day 2 is very possible. I wouldn't say quite probable, but possible, no doubt about it. I think they for sure take 1. Christian Watson out of North Dakota State, big, long, fast. I still think he's a little raw, but I like him in round 2. I love him in round 3. Alec Pierce, same deal. I think 39's too rich. Maybe 48 makes sense. For sure 71 if he's there. George Pickens, Jahan Dotson, potentially if he slides a little bit. Sky Moore. There's a lot of guys you could take on day 2. David Bell in round 3, hopefully. There's a lot of guys you can get in this draft. All right, Bears fans, if you've subscribed to Bears Now, first of all, I appreciate it. Round of applause. Second of all, type S if you are a Bears Now subscriber. S-Gang represent down below. Hey, I'll be reading the comments. We'll give some shout-outs, too. Plus, subscribe if you haven't. Who is the best option at left tackle currently on the roster? Borum, Jenkins, and Whitehair. Not Whitehair. I'll say Jenkins just because I think he's a better prospect than Borum, although some people think Borum's best position could be left tackle, but I just think Jenkins is a better talent. So I'll say Jenkins. I don't know if any of them are great options or even good options. Maybe they are. This new regime hasn't really given us much based on the current offensive linemen. Sky142, another super chat. Appreciate it, my friend. Do the Bears draft a quarterback in the 2023 draft? If Fields doesn't improve this year, I still don't trust the Ohio State quarterbacks in the NFL. We got to get past Ohio State quarterbacks have never been good in the NFL. Well, Texas Tech quarterbacks have never been good in the NFL. Well, then Patrick Mahomes came. Someone breaks those trends eventually. Ryan Day is an elite quarterback developer at Ohio State. It's not his fault for the guys they've had before then. I think Fields is going to be good. And if he's not, it's not because he went to Ohio State. That's just a random coincidence. Chris Allen. I know he's cheaper, but is Trevor Siemian better than Nick Foles? Currently, he played more than Foles last year. 11 touchdowns, 3 picks. Foles did win the one game he played. But if you heard what Ryan Poles said, they like Simeon's game in this scheme more. I do think a lot of things for these fringe starter backup types are scheme-driven. And listen, let's be honest. For a backup quarterback, money just comes into play. So even if the answer is Foles, if you can trade him and clear out $8 million, great. If you cut him, you save $3 million. You gave Simeon $2 per year. You save money either way. Let's be honest. If Fields gets hurt, this year's a wash. That's just the reality. Make sure you guys follow me on IG. Like I said, once we cross 3,000, we will cook up another Bears Now Instagram Live where you guys can hop on video chat and ask me whatever questions you have about free agency, trades, draft, whatever. At HGramNFL. Give me a follow right now.